Okay, fifth graders, so in a previous video you solved the first two problems, multiplying a fraction by a whole number. We're going to solve the final two problems on this page, so I'd like you to make sure you have that page so that you can solve these along with us. Make sure you have this page and a pencil. The first problem that we have, or the third problem on this page, is 5 times 3/8, and we remember that 5 times 3/8 means 5 groups of 3/8. For this one, I'm going to use another rectangle to show this. So I'm going to show one group of 3/8. I'm going to draw 5 rectangles that show that. Take your time, make sure you go ahead and do this along with me. If you need to pause the video, you can do so. So that's 2 groups of 3/8. Three groups of 3/8. Four groups of 3/8. And one more group. These are not my greatest ever drawings, but I think you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 3/8. Now I can count these: 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So right here I see that I have 15/8. Now this is an improper fraction, so I'm going to have to convert this. 15/8, so I'm going to show a visual for this. If here's my rectangle with 8/8, I can do 3 from here, those 3, plus these 3, plus, I have to add 3, but I don't have 3, so I know I'm going to need another whole shape. So I'm going to draw another shape, cut in 8 pieces, and I'm going to put that extra one from this 3/8. Then I'm going to add 3 here, and these final 3. So I can see here that I have 15/8, and I remember that every 8/8 is equal to 1, so I have one whole shape here. And then here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eighths. So 5 groups of 3/8 is 1 and 7/8. And I want to point out, boys and girls, usually when we multiply, the product is larger. For instance, 3 times 4 is 12. 12 is larger than 3 or 4. But in this case, because we have 5 times some number that's smaller than 1, in this case the product is actually smaller than the original factor of 5. The number is getting smaller. I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Woodruff, who's going to solve our final problem, 7 groups of, or 7 times 1/2.
Okay, so we're going to use the same strategies that Mr. Wyeth did. We have 7 groups of 1/2. So again, I'm going to go ahead and draw some squares. So this would be my first group of 1/2, my second group of 1/2, my third group. Mine are getting messier than Mr. Wyatt's. You know, I distracted myself. I just started drawing and coloring in. How many do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 1/2. So I need 2 more. So this would be my 6th group of 1/2 and my 7th group of 1/2. So I can add them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 halves. Okay, so if I am going to create a mixed number like Mr. Wyeth did, because I have an improper fraction, I'm going to start to create some groups. Here would be 1/2, 2 halves. I ran out quicker. So I'm going to need to create another whole divided into halves so that I can continue to group these. That would be my 3 halves, 4 halves, and now I have to make another whole 5 halves, 6 halves, and another whole for my last half. So I can see here that now I have 1, 2, 3 wholes and 1 half. So my 7 halves is the same thing as 3 wholes and 1 half. And let me just check, is my product smaller than I thought it might be because I'm multiplying? And it is. 7 groups of 1 half, because 1 half is less than 1, my product is going to be smaller than that first factor. So 7 times 1 half is 3 and 1 half. You're all set?
Thank you.